This woman can predict car accidents just by looking at a stranger. But when she warns a random man on the street, he refuses to believe her. The next second, a car slams into him. The man screams and collapses. Just then, the heir to the richest family in the capital, young Master Yang, steps out of his car. The woman immediately stares at him. Her father rushes over, slaps her arm, and tells everyone she is mentally unstable. But the woman does not stop. She walks up to young Master Yang and tells him he is in serious danger. She then reveals the exact nightmare he has been having, a woman trying to kill him in his sleep. Young Master Yang's face changes. At that moment, his phone rings. Someone on the other end shouts that his wife is cheating on him. The woman adds one more warning: he should get a paternity test at the hospital. Young Master Yang roars in anger. But unexpectedly, the woman whispers that she has already saved him once today, because someone tampered with his car. Young Master Yang pulls her aside and asks how she can help her. The woman holds up 3 fingers and says her price is 300. She accepts any payment method. Young Master Yang asks for proof of her ability. The woman tells him to stand still. She flicks her finger. The next second, young Master Yang collapses unconscious on the ground. His bodyguards panic. A moment later, he wakes up in confusion. He immediately pulls out his phone and asks for her payment code. But then he realizes she meant 300, not 300,000 or 3 million. The woman smiles. This young woman's master tells her to find a man with a birthmark on his left buttock. But the man she needs to inspect is the city's richest heir, who already thinks she's a liar. The next second, she gives the heir a magical leaf and warns him someone wants him dead. He asks who. She tells him to first figure out why. He asks why. She admits she has no idea. Just then, a flower pot suddenly falls from a shelf and nearly crushes his head. The heir dodges it. He immediately orders his men to dig up her background. At that moment, the young woman reveals the truth to her friend. 2 parallel worlds exist. The spirit world is a magical land. Her master lives inside a brush. Her mission: protect the descendants of the Yang family. Their mark is a birthmark on the left buttock. She needs to see the heir's bare bottom. Her friend laughs. Unexpectedly, night falls. The young woman realizes the heir did not wear the protective leaf. She appears inside his bathroom while he sits on the toilet. He shouts at her. She tells him not to be narrow-minded. Cultivators see no gender. She forces him to put on the leaf. Then she adds a warning. If he gets possessed, removal costs extra. She starts the ritual. Suddenly, a strange woman's spirit rushes out. The young woman strikes with her brush. The spirit screams and begs for mercy. Her name is Lu Roqing. She came from the spirit world to find her husband. But a cult leader named Tian He captured her and ordered her to kidnap the heir. She says she has never hurt anyone. The young woman immediately offers to help find the husband. Then she turns to the heir. She asks him to help. The heir hesitates. Is there danger? The young woman promises he will be safe. She says disciples of Lingmen never lie. The heir has no choice but to agree. The next morning, the heir wakes up. He finds himself wearing makeup and hugging another man. He has no memory of how he got there. He immediately blames the girl. She calmly says he is perfectly safe. Just then, the woman from the spirit world sees the man in the heir's arms. She shouts one word: husband. The man stares back and calls her wife. At that moment, the girl announces the spirit world channel is about to open. The husband and wife reunite. They thank the girl and disappear. But the heir is furious. His family has kicked him out because of a paternity test, the girl suggested. Now his reputation is ruined. The other man's family is also there. Chaos erupts. Unexpectedly, the heir's father and the other man's father both turn on the girl. They demand an explanation. The girl does not flinch. She looks at the heir and says one sentence: "You are still alive, are you not?" The heir opens his mouth to argue. But the next second, he realizes he cannot speak. The girl has silenced him with a single look. The world finally becomes quiet. This girl missed her only chance to check the richest heir's left buttock for the birthmark. The next second, she barges into his room while he is changing clothes. She hands him a new magical leaf. His face turns bright red. She calmly reminds him that night service costs extra. Just then, a mysterious voice warns her to stop protecting the heir. The girl immediately searches for the speaker. She cannot find him. Unexpectedly, she pulls out a binding leaf. It ties 2 people together for 2 days, with no way to undo it. She tries to demonstrate. The next second, she accidentally binds herself to the heir. They are stuck side by side. He cannot use his left hand to eat. She feeds him. His friend makes a joke. The girl silences everyone with one look. At that moment, the binding suddenly releases. The heir rushes to his company, but then someone approaches the house. The girl orders everyone to paste leaves on all the windows. She leaves to get more supplies. Suddenly, an enemy appears outside. The villain laughs and says her power is useless. The girl immediately shouts for him to shut up. She takes her master's thunderleaf. The master warns her of great danger. She does not care. She prepares to fight. Just then, the heir's secretary arrives with files. She calls out for help. She says she is injured. The heir tries to go outside. The girl blocks the door. No one enters, no one leaves. The secretary screams again. The heir shouts back. The girl stands her ground. The battle is about to begin. This girl told the heir not to leave the room. But the next second, his secretary screams for help. The heir immediately runs outside. The girl chases after him. Just then, a fire spirit attacks. The heir gets taken. The girl finds his last location. She takes a piece of his clothing. She casts a fire tracking spell. The burning leaf flies into the distance. She follows. Suddenly, a famous local master blocks her path. He calls her a monster. His reason? Her friend makes strange noises with his mouth. The master demands she release the heir. The girl does not move. The master attacks. Unexpectedly, he collapses with one hit. He was a fraud. At that moment, the real enemy appears. It is the heir's own secretary. She is an evil spirit. She reveals her true form. The girl steps forward to fight. The villain smirks. She says the girl can only fight one enemy at a time. Then she asks, "Guess if you still have time to save them." The girl does not guess. She throws a binding leaf. The next second, she says one sentence. "I do not like guessing. I like sending you away directly." The girl defeats the evil spirit. The next second, the heir offers her 50 million. She says 3,000 is fine. He immediately adds 20 million as an annual membership. She shrugs. He gave it himself, not her problem. Just then, the heir's man reports the video leaker went crazy overnight and got sent to a mental hospital. The girl offers another bottle for 100. The heir says 100. She corrects him. 100 means 100, not 1 million. He suddenly realizes he is the real fool. The heir invites her to stay at his house. She agrees. He tells his annoying friend to get lost. But at that moment, the villains prepare a sleeping incense. They plan to knock out her father and kidnap someone close to her. That will force her to stop protecting the heir. Unexpectedly, the heir's friend shows up at her door at midnight. He wants to become her disciple. She tries to leave. He chases her. Just then, an enemy appears. The enemy demands the girl hand over a person named Xu Si. The girl refuses. The enemy attacks. The next second, the girl strikes back. The enemy flees using an escape technique. The girl immediately performs another tracking spell using a sock. She is not happy about the sock. Later, the heir's secretary wakes up. She pretends she fainted from low blood sugar. The heir believes her. He tells her to go home. But at that moment, the secretary stays behind. She calls out to the heir with a seductive voice. She says she deeply loves him. She invites him to come closer. The trap is set. The heir's secretary tries to seduce him in his bedroom. She calls out to him in a soft voice. The heir immediately shouts for someone to come change the bed sheets. He tells her she is fired. The secretary says he broke her heart. He says he will break her liver too. Just then, the secretary threatens to record everything and ruin his reputation. The heir does not care. She tries to get closer. Unexpectedly, the girl appears through the door. She looks at the scene and asks if she interrupted something good. The secretary screams. The girl mocks her. She tells the secretary to put on some clothes. The secretary looks like a skinny pig. The girl turns to the heir. She is angry. He did not call her. The heir says he did not want to disturb her because she was tired. The girl forgives him. At that moment, the annoying friend runs in. He is out of breath. He wants to become her disciple. The girl uses a binding leaf. The next second, the friend freezes in place. He cannot move. Suddenly, the girl's father rushes in. He panics. His wife is missing. Only her pillow remains on the bed. The girl calmly says, "His wife went to her master's place. She will return in 2 days." The father does not believe her, but then he realizes the girl knew exactly what he was thinking. He decides to trust her. He leaves for work. The girl then remembers something. A pervert came last night and stole something. She warns the father to lock his door. The father asks what happened. The girl says the pervert asked her to hit his butt. She happily obliged. The girl makes her annoying friend change the frozen enemy's position. She is not playing games. She is waiting for the enemy's accomplice to show up. That will lead her to Shixi. The friend begs to become her disciple. She hands him a book. She tells him to memorize it. The fee is non-refundable. Just then, 2 enemies appear. They try to run, but she has already placed a seal around the entire area. They cannot escape. The next second, the girl steps out from the shadows. She orders her friend to tie the enemies up. Suddenly, a powerful villain breaks through her seal. He is an old man. He wants the heir. He needs the heir's blood to fix his right hand. He offers a deal. Let the heir go. He will release Lingji. The girl refuses. She says the heir is her person. She will protect him. The villain laughs. He mocks the heir for hiding behind a little girl. At that moment, the girl attacks. Lightning strikes. The villain runs. He turns invisible. She immediately draws a protective circle around herself and the heir. The villain cannot break it. Then she charges forward. One final strike. The girl throws herself in front of the heir to block a surprise attack. The villain hits her hard. She collapses. But she tells the heir she is fine. She just needs to sleep. She asks him to carry her home. The next second, the heir panics. He calls for the best doctors. The friend arrives and touches her hand. It is ice cold. The doctor examines her. He announces her pulse is gone. She is dead. The heir freezes. The friend screams. The doctor says, "Prepare for the afterlife." Just then, the girl opens her eyes. She says the doctor's skills are terrible. She was only resting. She was healing herself using internal energy. The doctor's face turns red. The friend laughs and cries at the same time. At that moment, the girl reveals the truth about the Yang family blood. It can regrow limbs and bring the dead back to life. The heir is a descendant. She asks to see his butt to confirm. He hesitates. She laughs and says she is joking. Suddenly, the heir asks her to attend his mother's birthday dinner. She thinks he is worried about security. She offers to place protective seals around his house. He clarifies. He wants her to meet his family. She pauses. Then she asks if his father's last name is also Yang. The next second, she agrees to go. Unexpectedly, she thinks to herself. Going to dinner means she might see his father's bare butt. That would solve the mystery. Her own father calls. He asks where Sixi is. She says Xe is weak and needs 2 more days to recover. Her father wonders how she knows he is weak. She smiles. This girl's friend tries to cast a search spell to find a missing person, but the next second, he forgets the first step. He stumbles through the chant anyway. Unexpectedly, the spell works. He finds the target. Just then, a villain appears. He was waiting exactly there. He tries to grab the missing person. Another villain shows up. They argue about how to consume her. One wants to soak her in wine. The other wants to make pills. They completely ignore her fear. Suddenly, the girl and the heir arrive. The friend introduces himself as the chief disciple of the spiritual arts sect. He points to the girl and calls her master. Then he points to the heir and calls him master's wife. The heir's face twists. He is not a wife. He is a man. The villains attack. The friend fights back, but immediately he is overpowered. He screams for help. The girl steps forward. She does not say a word. The villains freeze. The next second, she strikes. This girl receives a deadly challenge from a powerful cult. The villains demand she fight them alone at midnight, but her body is still weak from a recent injury. The next second, her annoying friend volunteers to go in her place. He sneaks out. He walks straight into the enemy's trap. Unexpectedly, the friend does not run. He points at each villain and reminds them how they lost to his master before. One got tied up like a dumpling. Another got hit on the butt. The villains' faces turn red with rage. Just then, the lead villain shouts. He orders his men to capture the friend. They will use him as bait. Then they will lure the girl to her death. The friend laughs in their faces. The villains close in. At that moment, no one else is there to save him. This girl's annoying friend sneaks into the enemy's headquarters alone. He claims he will fight the entire cult by himself. The villains attack him with lightning and fire spells. The next second, he blocks everything. He mocks their lightning for being too young. He drew one line wrong on his spell. It was a fake move. The villains are shocked. But unexpectedly, an old villain stabs him from behind. The friend collapses. The villains tie him up and plan to use him as bait. Just then, the girl realizes her friend is in danger. She demands to know where the cult is located. No one remembers the address. She grabs his sock. Again, she casts a tracking spell. The next second, she appears at the cult's door. The villains surround her. They threaten to tear off her friend's skin. The girl does not flinch. She raises her hand. Lightning strikes without any magical leaf. One villain falls, then another. And another. The heir's security team has already captured the villains, sent to his house. The girl beats them one by one. It is not a fight. It is a one-sided beating. The last villain stands trembling. He asks her name. She says Xiaozhao. Remember it. The next second, lightning strikes him down. This girl destroys the last villain standing. But the villain suddenly grabs his own follower and uses him as a human shield. The follower's eyes go cold. He turns against his master. The girl spares the traitor. Then she destroys his spiritual powers forever. Just then, the heir pulls her aside. He wants her to meet his parents tomorrow. She says she will set up protective seals. He says that is not the point. He wants her to come as his partner. She pauses. Then she asks, "You mean boyfriend and girlfriend?" He nods. He adds, "The kind that gets married." The next second, she agrees. The heir cannot believe it. He asks if she understands. She says yes. She will clear the evil energy from his body. They will practice spiritual arts together. Then she smiles. This service costs extra. The heir says everything he owns is hers. Suddenly, the girl runs to her friend. She announces she and the heir are now officially a couple, the kind that gets married. The friend is shocked. He says the heir is not good enough for her. The girl does not care. She wants him by her side. At that moment, she asks her master for approval. The master says he is not sure if the heir is truly a descendant of the Yang family. But either way, this relationship has no downside, and the heir's talent is too high to lose to another sect. The master agrees. Unexpectedly, the heir paces back and forth waiting for her answer. 10 minutes pass. He panics. Then the girl returns. She gives her answer. Yes. The next second, the heir grabs her. Her friend screams. The heir moved too fast. How did an ordinary man like him win over a fairy like her? The scene shifts. A man wakes up from a long dream. He wonders out loud, does a girl named Xiaozhao really exist? Just then, a voice speaks behind him. I am Xiaozhao. I am here to help you.